All right, just get started. People can jump in if they jump in later, or catch the replay. Thank you, ladies, for being here today. I'm so excited. This is the last open house. So this is the third one I've done this week. They've been really fun and festive and intimate. Like I really like this, like breaking it up. So it's like literally a handful of people. We get to really connect. It's chill. Like you guys can pop off, ask questions, pop off mute, ask questions. We can take our time. And so I do really like these open houses. To if you guys can just start putting your name, where you're from, your business. Actually, you know what? We have time. There's not too many of here or too many of you guys in here. So maybe we could just unmute and just a quick intro. Name, where you're from, your business, and whatever you want to share about your motherhood. Who would like to start?
Okay, I can go. Aloha everybody. I'm Kiri Pua'oi. I live in Kahalu'u and I'm in financial services, helping Hawaii's families get their money right. And motherhood is suddenly I'm like, well, what word am I going to choose? Where am I going to go with this one? Motherhood is I have a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and shoot, just did the math at the lo'i the other day, and I forget the 16-month or 17-month-year-old. Anyway, so it's fun. I'm in it, but loving it. I'm trying to survive it right now since I'm fighting off this cold. Anyway, happy to be here with everyone.
Thanks for being here. And Kiri's been in our cohort Kolu, right? Cohort Kolu of Mama Biz Life. So she just finished her 6 months, and I'm gonna call on you later because I would love for you to just share a little bit about what your experience has been, like hearing it from the source of not me, but someone who's kind of experienced it. So if you're open, Kiri, later on, would love to hear from you. Awesome, thanks. Who wants to go next?
I'm happy to share. Aloha, ladies. I am Esther. My business is Captured Imagery. I am a portrait photographer and I'm located in Eva Beach. I specialize in studio portraits and creating experiences that are really empowering and just full of celebration for the woman and the mama that you are. In my current season of motherhood, I am a mama of twins. They just made 18 months. And that's my only babies, but they keep me busy.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, in my current season of motherhood, I think the biggest thing that has been my lesson is just embracing the full spectrum of the human experience of being a mama and then helping my kids learn how to, be humans too, or helping them teach me how to be humans. You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a yeah, it's been such a journey for me in motherhood. And so some days there are definitely seasons of survival, and then other days where you feel like you got it. And I think just allowing the full spectrum of that experience to ebb and flow and be a part of my experience has been my biggest lesson. Yeah, but I think just being a mom has really inspired me to photograph more mamas and just create experiences that are really pampering and celebratory for them in front of my camera. So yeah, that's kind of like what my specialty is right now.
Love that. So relatable. Like, oh, really embracing the season that you're in. Like, I'm all about that for sure. Thanks for sharing, Esther, and for being here. Love getting to see you. Okay, Moana said she cannot. She's gonna type in Shelby. Is that how you say your name? Can you speak? Just name, where you're from, business, and a little bit about your motherhood.
Hi, I'm Shelby. My business is Shalovely. I do sun printing on clothing and some bags and started block printing. And I also sew like applique patches and jackets if people want as well. And I started doing mugs too, but just I'm getting more into the business now that my 3-year-old started preschool this year because she kept me real busy. But yeah, and I have an 8-year-old, 3-year-old, and then I have one more coming in January.
Wow.
I'm gonna start all over again soon. Like first and stuff. And I'm from Kauai, Omao.
We met, right?
Yeah,
Okay, I was like,
in the room.
this is
Yes.
so everything is so familiar. Okay, so glad you're here. Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
So excited. Yeah, we just had our Kauai, our first Mama Biz Life Kauai retreat / market with Bida as like our Mama Biz Life Alakai host. And we got to meet some other amazing Kauai businesses and just be part of their what is it? Block party. Yeah, Rice Street block party was pretty nuts. So it was good fun. It was good fun. I was busy. So that was awesome. And then Moana, thanks for being here, Shelby. Moana, I'm gonna read her thing. Aloha, kalamai. Can jump on vid right can't jump on vid right now. My connection is weak, but my name is Moana. I'm also from Kahalu'u. Two Kahalu'u in the house, right? I have 3 kaikamahine. My business is handpicked by Moana. I collect shells and make them into resin letter keychains currently. Wow, so cool. Like literally, I nut out on the diversity and uniqueness that people bring, because this is why I love working with like business women, moms in particular, because we are really resourceful and creative. Like that, it's not even joking. Like it's the most creativity I've seen anywhere. And just like to bring everyone together and like have people just see what's out there, I think is so fun. If you guys could type your Instagram handles in the chat, that'd be so awesome, just so we can kind of keep connection after this. And we'll just get started. So today, I'll share a little bit about me for sure. I'll go through my intro as well, but just to give you just an outline of what it will look like. So we're gonna start with, wait, I'm not even in my notes, my real notes, sorry. Like, what is that? Okay, so the agenda is just opening, welcome, which we've done. And then we're going to go into a little teaching about the man, the maiden, and the mother, which is a really fun lesson that I've been really kind of unwinding, that I think you'll really like. Then I'm going to go into the framework for success within Mama Biz Life, which is kind of what I follow with our women, and then open up the house for everybody. In between that though, we are going to do a little breath work, very light, very easy. Anyone can do it. You guys can take it with you after this, and I hope that you do. But then I'm going to open up Mama Biz Life, the online community, so you can check it out. Hopefully at that point we can hear a little bit from Curie, and then just open it up for questions. If anybody wants to get coached, that's a good time to get that as well. And then we'll close. So it should take about an hour. You guys, time, everyone good with that? Okay. So, welcome everybody. My name is Noelle Kawanoi Campbell, formerly Takemoro. I'm from Mo'iliili. I literally live next door to where I grew up. My dad lives next door. My sister lives next door. It's a compound here, which is the only way I could live in town. Like I think naturally inside my heart, I'm like a wild country girl. That's literally been born and raised in town. But when you grow up on a compound, you kind of have like that country mentality where you're just like roaming and, free and, everybody. And so I just feel like that's where my heart is just being outside, connecting with either my neighbors, my family, the Aina, and that's just kind of what lights me up. So of course I bring that to this group as well. Connection is so important for me. I have 4 boys. The ages are, let's see, a newly 14-year-old, almost 11-year-old, like next week. 8 and 3, 4. He's 4. Oh my gosh. They keep getting older. And that's a huge reason why I started Mama Biz Life, truly. My background is in education. I used to be a classroom teacher at a Kulakaya Puni at Anuenue. I moved from that to basically, what was it? It was at Ma'o Organic Farms, and I was like a garden teacher, basically, like a garden outdoor educator. I got pregnant with my first when I took that job. So I literally was there for 9 months because I got pregnant the first month that I started working there. And so 9 months later, I was a stay-at-home mom. And I really thought that that was going to be living my dream. And a lot of it was like, a lot of it was my dream to be there for my keiki and just be super ultra present. But I was missing a lot. Like I felt lonely. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. I felt kind of like I was just floating, like, okay, what are we gonna do today? Let's do some art, let's go to the beach. And I was a little bit probably postpartum depressed, a little bit depression, but I was really lacking like connection with others, connection with like a purpose and community. Like again, like that's really important for me. And so I did that for 2 years, and then I ended up working at Pai Pai O'Heia there. Then I like got into that 9 to 5 mom hustle where my son was going to preschool and I felt so good about it. I like had connection, I had purpose, so much meaning in my life. And it was so good until I got pregnant with my second. And the reality of being a working mom, like 9 to 5, where you have sick leave and vacation, and that's about it. And then I'm looking at how long can I take off, because I took off 2 years in my first, and they're like, oh, you can take leave without, sorry, you can take your disability, which is 4 weeks. And I was like, that's so little bit, like I need more, right? They're like, well, you could do leave without pay. That's the only option. So I did that, cried my first day back at work. It just, I was doing the working mom thing, and it felt really good, and it broke my heart a lot. I don't know if you guys have ever been in that situation. Hi, Kaleno here, who just joined. If you could write in the chat, since you just joined, who you are, where you're from, your business, and some about your motherhood, I'd be so thankful for that. But welcome. So anyway, I'm just trying to paint the picture. Like I've kind of like dabbled in it all, right? Stay-at-home mom, working mom. I still loved it. I got my second all the way into preschool while working, and then I got pregnant with my third. And that's when the reality of how stressed I was hit. You ever do that? You're just doing it, and you're doing it because you think you got to do it, and then all of a sudden you give yourself space to really feel what you're doing, and it's like you unravel. And I was like, I cannot do that again. I just can't. So I ended up quitting. I also couldn't find a sitter. Like there was just a lot of factors. And I was really sad about it, but it pushed me into entrepreneurship. So the first thing I did was doTERRA. So I did network marketing. I can't even say that I always loved it. Like I can't even say that in the beginning I was like, oh yeah, I loved it. I always took it with a grain of salt. I always was a little bit skeptical, and now I don't do network marketing at all. But I am really grateful for the lessons that I learned in that business, because coming from an educator's background, sales is very foreign, and it's still a little bit foreign to me, but sales is not my comfort zone, but I learned so much in network marketing because you're forced to sell. Like that's what you're doing, right? And what I really fell in love with was team building, networking, growing community, and really pouring into, we worked with a lot of moms and business. And so I realized like that's what I love. That was my passion, because it was so fun to like just really raise others up in their motherhood and business. And so long story short, fast forward, after I'd done network marketing, I was just like, what could I do that's not that, right? I'm not connected to a company. And Mama Biz Life just kind of organically came to be, because I wanted to just kind of recreate that, take all the skills that I've done and learned through that experience and be able to give that to people outside of network marketing. The best thing about network marketing is like you have this amazing structure of support. And there are a lot of things that I don't love about it or don't agree with and would never do again. But none of that's in this, because again, this is an organic way of connecting others, building deep relationships, accountability, and supporting people with what they need, both on the business and motherhood front. And so again, I could have done women. There's something about mothers that I just think is, like I said, so unique. And like there's just like deeper energy that we have, because again, we're here because of our kids. Very few people I see have just built a business, not before their kids, if they have kids, like it's always going to come back to like part of my why is going to be because I want a better life for my kids, whether that looks like more time with them, being able to contribute financially, or even like be the financial support for the family, right? With your entrepreneurship journey. So I love that I get to do what I do. I also have another business, Pakalana Maine, product-based business, which I think is so fun because we have product and service-based mamas in Mama Biz Life. And so it gives me like the understanding, because before this, I only did service-based online businesses. And so it's been really fun to work with like a physical product. Whew, that's my intro. So let's get into the fun, just like I said, the unraveling that I've been studying kind of, in my own little mommy mind, um, about what I've seen different women do when they're building their business. And so this is partly observation. I've heard others talk about this as well, like Kate Scudder. There's other people who do talk about this. And I just think it's very interesting and very apparent. And once I say this, you guys are probably going to go out there and you're going to not only notice this in yourself, but notice it in your community and be like, oh my gosh, she's totally building like a man, or she's totally stuck in the maiden. So let's break it down. So building like a man, like I started talking about like boss babe. And I want you guys to kind of think about like when you hear boss babe, like what does that make you feel? Like boss babe mentality, boss babe building. I used to fully be like into that. Like I wanted people to feel strong about being that boss babe. And now I get pretty triggered by that. And not that it's the word or that image that's wrong, but when I hear boss babe, I first of all think you're kind of building like a man. And when you think about what a man's role is, okay, first of all, their hormonal cycle is on a 24-hour period versus a woman's, who is we all know, monthly period, right? Our hormonal cycles go in a monthly period. So what that means is that within a 24-hour day, a man's like energy is there to work hard, come home, relax and rest and recover within that period. Where a woman's is very, very different because based on where we are at in our monthly cycle, you're going to have way more energy. You probably need to take a little bit more rest. Maybe you'll be a little bit more introspective. And a lot of us don't really think that way because our lives are built on a 9-to-5 schedule, well, not 9-to-5, but a 24-hour schedule. Also, when you think about just the workplace, right? For men and women, men have been like working far longer than women have. And I don't think that I'm not saying that women weren't working, because we are always kind of working in our own way. Like we keep ourselves busy for sure. And our work is always important, whether it's actual work or whether we're like taking care of the baby or cooking or doing our thing, right? So don't think I'm not saying we don't work, because we absolutely do. But when you're thinking about in the workplace, right? Historically, men have been working in the workplace for a lot longer. The history of women in the workplace is way shorter. Think about your mom. Can I actually get a poll? Like raise your hand if your mom worked, like had a 9-to-5 job. Oh, no, did your mom stay home? Maybe you can put in the comments so we can kind of get like an understanding. Like my mom worked, Linda's mom worked, mom worked. So my mom had a full-time job and she took off almost like 100%. She was a flight attendant, so she could like trade her trips and stuff so that she could be with us. Okay, lots of working moms. In past open houses been like 50-50. And I want us to think about, though, I do think that time period of our mothers, it's probably 50-50. A lot of moms did work and a lot of moms stayed at home with their kids. So now think back to your grandmothers. How many of them worked a 9-to-5? Because my grandma actually did work a 9-to-5. But I think that when you look at that generation, it's probably more 70% stayed home and 30% worked, and that's only 2 generations back. And so, okay, so Esther's mom was home. Moana, one worked, grandmother's, one worked, one stayed home. Cool. Thanks for sharing, you guys. But generally speaking, we know that moms were home more, closer, right, than dads. And I think about it too, like my own husband, right? never ever do I think that, like, yeah, he might like be drained by his job. He may not love to go to work every day, but it's never because his heart is hurting because he wants to stay home with the kids. And if your husband is like that, like, please, like, bless him. But what I see majority of the time is that men don't have that same like heart-wrenching desire to like be with their children. They love my husband is a great dad. He loves me with his kids, but do you know what I mean? Like when I had to leave my kids, like I cried. I've never seen him cry going back to work after paternity leave. He's actually pretty excited after paternity leave. Like, hey, I've been home for a month. See ya. Like, you know what I mean? And there's just a difference because we are mothers. Like we cannot deny that. So anyway, I just don't think that we are meant to, we're not built to, we're not meant to build our businesses like a man. Are there times where you can bring in that like Kane energy? Absolutely. There's a time and place for that. But to continue to build like a man, to me, leads to burnout, leads to adrenal fatigue, leads to things that our bodies are literally not wired to do. And so I want everyone to be aware when they are in that man building, persona, and just to be aware, is it serving you, or is it something that needs to probably maybe shift? So that's the first persona that I want to talk about. The second one that I see in the boss babe is the maiden. And so again, boss babe can also be like, I'm cute, I'm pretty, everything is perfect. Like I do everything, everything is perfect, right? There's a happy face, there's a happy smile on my face, nothing is wrong in my life. That's the boss babe. That's the maiden, right? The maiden to me is who you were before you had kids. And think about that girl, right? Once you have kids, once you birth your first baby, a part of you physically, well, I'm not going to say physically, I would say on all levels, a little bit dies, right? So that you can make way for this new way of being. You're a new person no matter what. Not only have you birthed somebody new, but you have birthed a new version of yourself. And that happens every time you have another kid. And so when you think about what a lot of business advice that is out there, to me, it's given from that maiden mentality and to someone who could step into this maiden role and grow their business. You don't have that time constraint that a mother has. You don't have that like heaviness of values and determination for like a better future that a mother has. And again, this is not meant to be just exclusive, like no one who's never had a baby can feel this way. I don't believe that. I know lots of amazing aunties who take on that role and like feel that like a mother does, right? They embody the mother. But I also see so much toxicity being taught to women in business that just follow that maiden way of being, right? And so what I think that is most powerful for all of us is to tap into that like really deep and authentic way of being, which I believe is the mother. And I like think about what it feels like when you are 100% supported by that mother energy, whether it was from your mom, whether it was from an auntie, or just anyone that you felt that motherly energy. How safe did you feel? How grounded did you feel? How powerful, like, did you feel? How held? And to me, when we look at our businesses and we're able to apply that energy to it, like, you are unstoppable, right? It's like that force that just like, it just grows and builds naturally and like in integrity. And it's a feeling, right? And so I really, really encourage you to survey your life, survey your business, especially. When are you building like a man? When are you building like a maiden? And when are you like building like a mother? And to try to see how can you become more of that energy when you're building your business, and when does it like just make so much sense to be in that, to find success, So any questions before I move on? And I just say this, when I do see women building in their mother, okay, the mother persona, like that is like creativity is just exploding, right? Anything is possible. And you think about that, that's what mothers do. They birth, right? We birth new ideas. We birth things into creation. We have an unwavering desire to do our work because we're passionate about that. The passion is like level, 100, 10. And so just, I want everyone to be able to feel that. And I want that to be the way that we build our business so that we don't feel burnt out. We don't feel exhausted at the end of the day. We have enough for our children, you know, because that's always going to be of importance to us. All right. So we're going to shift into how we make this possible in Mama Biz life, you know, because yes, that sounds really good, but on the ground, physically, what does that look like? And how do you create that experience for somebody? So first of all, we start with breath work, and that is always going to be part of Mama Biz life. You know, I just like laugh, I giggle a little because not everybody in Mama Biz life is sold that that's the way. And I will say the ones who do show up or do breath work, I notice that they shift. They do. You cannot deny, right? We breathe every day subconsciously. It happens. And it's something that's so easy to take for granted. So important that I've been like dealing with like an injury for a while, like since my fourth baby, and he's 4 now. And so like my left hip, my right shoulder, it just like bounces back and forth. Like I can't really get rid of it. I finally saw someone at the gym who's like really, really amazing physical trainer from Japan. Like he is like a wizard. And I asked him, like, can you just check my body? Like, I want to know what is going on. Like, is my hips off? Is my bone stuck? Like, what's happening? And he checked me. We did some things. And at the end, his diagnosis was that I'm not breathing deep enough. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, that can affect my injuries? Like, I'm injured because I'm not breathing deep. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, it's so common for mothers to breathe shallow. And since then, I've stopped myself and I'm like, I'm not breathing deep. And the thing that's important about breathing deep, I want everyone take a deep breath right now, like feel the shift. And when you breathe deep, that's when you're like, oh gosh, I have not been breathing deep in my other breaths. So we're going to do a breath work at the end of this little segment that will help you guys to breathe deeper. But it's really about tapping into your nervous system and telling it that it's safe, right? Because think about when you're exercising, when you're stressed, when you're like literally like maybe you're avoiding danger, your breath is like, right? That's like the, oh my gosh, I like have a lot going on kind of breath. When you're breathing deep, it's only when you're calm and relaxed. And so it's literally telling your body you are safe, right? You can only create when you're safe. You're not going to create when you're like in a tense, stressed out mood, right? The best things come from you when you can be grounded in your body. And that's a regulation of your nervous system. And step 1 for that is your breath. So that's how we start. We focus on the foundation of safety and just being in your body and present with your body. And that's your breath. 2, it's really important to identify where you are at and where you want to be. And this has to do with number 1, like what season are you in, right? In your business. Did you just start? Are you in your first year? Are you in your 7th year? We have women across the board. And so if I taught everything according to, okay, you're going to come in, you're going to do A, B, C, and you're going to succeed, it wouldn't apply to everybody. And so what I love about our diverse group is that you get to assess like, where are you when you come in and where do you want to be? Do you want to be making $1 million? Does that matter to you? Like, are your goals in alignment with what you want to be doing? Because a lot of times, especially moms, we get stuck on that maiden path of growth, growth, growth. I want to make $10,000 a month consistently just because. Has nothing to do with my finances, nothing to do with what I need or what I want to create. It's just because that's what I've been told and that's what I want to do. And we duplicate. And the thing is, mothers will do it. And then you're going to turn around and look at what's happened because of you having that goal without really thinking, is that the goal for you? Is that the right goal for this season? Right. And so I'm always encouraging, think about where you're at, identify that and where you want to be, and be honest with yourself because everyone's going to be on a different path. We also really help through business mindset, health support, all through training. So Mama Biz Life has a living library, which I'm going to show you guys. And that's just going to be your support outside of our calls or our live get-togethers. And so again, a lot of that is like mental support, or mentality support. There's goal setting. There's the gamut of different subjects. So I'll show you that when we go through the community. Number 4, how we work on that motherhood business building is community. So community building with each other, getting to know each other in small group sessions. We do both hot seat coaching. So that's like your time to like bring a question and we get to like troubleshoot that together. That's where I get to mentor and kind of teach a little. As well as we bring in expert guest speakers. So I'll show you that in the library as well, but you have access to all these guest speakers that I've curated for the group and whoever comes after that. And so there's like a lot of amazing women, mothers, business advice, all kinds of stuff you'll see. But they're also part of our like greater community is like our guest speakers. Like I said, we have hot seat coaching. I think that is like where you're going to get the most out of Mama Biz Life is being able to come to these calls, meet with the other women and really focus on what you're working on and get answers and move forward on whatever it is. And then we also have workshopping sessions where it's kind of like a co-working session where you kind of work together. I love to direct those to work on something that you're putting off and that you've been avoiding for accountability, or just that energy of when you're working with other people that are all in like this positive space, you can get so much done. So that's our workshopping. Okay, so we're going to take a quick pause right now. And before I showcase the community online, I want to do some breath work with you guys. So if you guys can, take a sip of water. I need some. And just get into like a comfortable position. It doesn't have to be crazy. Kalina, if you're walking, you can still walk while you're doing this. You can stand, but just a place where you can kind of like just stretch out, sit up tall. The maiden is the striver, the mother is the tender. I didn't see that till just now. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so this is super easy. As I'm speaking, I just want you to notice your breath, okay? And just start to slowly deepen it and just kind of just understand where it's at, check in. We're gonna do a 5 count inhale and a 5 count exhale. And we're just gonna do this 5 times in and out. And I'll be counting so that you guys can just relax and focus on the breath. It may feel like a stretch for some. It may be easy for others. You can close your eyes and keep them open. It doesn't really matter. It's more about just getting in these really deep breaths. Everybody ready? So let's start on our inhale and I'll count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold, sit up straight and exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And last breath out. Take our time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just end with a few more deep breaths on your own. Again, just feeling into your body, feeling your surroundings. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and come back to the group. But that is just something so simple, right? That you can literally shift how you were feeling. Like if you're stressed out, you can sink into that. That was only 5 breaths. You could go longer. You could lengthen the seconds. So you could, I would say, work up to 8 seconds, start with 5. And if anyone wants to share how they feel after the breath work in the comments, I'd love to hear. Yeah, breath is important. And I think, again, like when he said, oh yeah, all mothers breathe shallow. And I was like, that's an issue. Like we need that capacity to be in our bodies. right? And we all know what it feels like to feel frazzled. And I think of frazzled as like when you're out here, right? You're not in here and you're just boom, boom, boom. And so I think breath work really stops that pattern of staying in that frazzled energy and like brings you home to yourself so that you can make good decisions from this space, right? From your heart, being in your intuition. Whew. Yeah, I get that. Kalina Hayash said it's still hard for me to breathe that slow. I know it is hard, and you're yawning now, and yawning, it's a good sign. Like yawning means that you're like getting into that nervous system. Um, oh yeah, Moana, you didn't realize you weren't taking deep breaths. Neither did I, and I do breath work. And that's why, again, I'm not here to tell you like it gets, well, it does get better, but you still will find yourself sinking into your external world, right? And like keeping up with that. Or something I realized for myself, I hold my breath when I'm cooking, when I'm scheduling, when I'm like using my brain. And it's more so a practice of realizing that and practicing while I'm doing something that's a little bit stressful or like very like in my mind, like practice breathing deep. You can do both. I just haven't been practicing it. You know what I mean? It's just a practice and a repatterning. Um, Thanks for sharing, Moana. And Shelby, I would always tell my husband to take a deep breath. And I didn't actually realize I wasn't taking a deep breath. I needed to take two, right? We tell our kids that, take a deep breath, calm down. And like, even as I'm speaking, like during this presentation, I'm subconsciously reminding myself to take deep breaths. So just again, something to notice. I'm so glad we did that together. And I'm going to get into now shifting to share the community. So this is a platform that, you know, when you're in Mama Biz Life, you have access to. It's called the Health Hui because Mama Biz Life is actually a group within the Hui. And so I have all of these. These are not built out at all. So just know that all I've built out right now is Mama Biz Life. But yeah, the Health Hui, I'm hoping to kind of create more with that. But right now my focus is Mama Biz Life. And so it's really like Facebook. Like it's nothing more that I have to say about that. Like you have a profile, you know, you have a picture. You can come and ask questions, share what you're doing, share your offerings, get feedback. It's just a place for us to connect outside of our calls. So again, sometimes I do surveys. It's just a landing space that I really want to provide so that there's ongoing support without just having to wait for the call. Where am I at? Hold on. I'm blocking with the Zoom thing. What I wanted to show you guys is the living library, which will be in pages. Sorry, there it is. So this is a living library, and what I like about this actual platform is it's almost like a mix between like it can house trainings, but it can also be like a Facebook page. But I didn't want to do Facebook. So we have workouts. I'm in the process of moving all the breath and body work to this page, but for right now, it's what we've had recently. So you can see we have some of our breath work stuff here. And then when you go to Mama Biz Life, that's where everything is housed. And so so these energetic calls, I'm going to move over so that the workouts are separate. But the blue ones, the Mama Biz Life library, those are all the trainings for business, for mindset. So you can see we have like Trello, LinkedIn, Pillars is a social media training, scheduling training. And then we also have social media stuff, Flowdesk, buyer persona. So there's just a gamut of different things that you can check out. And I call it a living library because it's always evolving. This is where we house our group calls. So it's color coded by cohorts. And so for cohort Elima, we'll have a new color. And it's just so that we can keep track of the time. But within each group call, everyone is invited that is either an alumni or a current member of Mama Biz Life. And so it's usually there's about 5 to 10 people on a call. And so it's not just your cohort, but you're grouped into with everybody that's in Mama Biz Life. And then these are our guest speakers. I just want to show you this. You can see the different subjects that you'll have access to if you want to jump in, and just the kind of people that I bring in. So again, this is our broader community. We have KonMari coaches, we have lawyers, we have so many different things that we've brought in just because, again, like for me, that's so fun to just think about like what would be interesting, who would be a great addition to this group. And all of these women, they've come and taught for free, and they always leave so happy and pumped up from our community. Like I just have to tell you that. And like even Kiri and Kaleno here, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this, but literally everyone is so happy to be able to like talk to us, and they like always just say such good things. And so it's just a reflection that the community that we have is just so amazing. And you literally, like, even though you're receiving the info, you give to others who are teaching. So anyway, we have all of this. Any questions on the community before we move on? Or anything else you want to see? And just so you guys know, so these are all like YouTube videos. So they're pretty simple. There's certain things down here that will give like sometimes links and stuff, but they're very easy to watch and consume. And I try to keep them under 10 minutes so that they're easy to digest. And that, honestly, let me just make sure I didn't forget anything. Yeah, that's all I have formally. So now we can open it up to you guys, and any questions you guys have, we could do some coaching. And I also, maybe we'll take some questions first, but after that, I'd love to hear from Kiri and or Kaleno Hea if you guys want to share about your experience in, I'm almost done. Experience Mama Biz life. But before that, any questions you guys have? Hey, Evie, come here. Any questions or anything that you want to bring to the table? If not, think about it. It's not the only time you can ask questions in the chat or after. But Kiri or Kalina, you guys want to share a little bit about just what it's been like to be part of the group?
Okay, I'll jump on. And I just wanna, for if you guys have business questions, like Noelle, when you say hot seat, I'm assuming that's what you I'm like inviting them to do something that I don't even know that's like, but if you guys have business questions, like now is a great time to test Noelle out right now. And ask your questions, like get them answered. You're here, right? Anyway, I can't stop raving about Mama Biz life. When I first was seeing like your promotions for it, I didn't think that it was something that I was interested in. And I don't know what, just that kind of like now thing happened at the last minute. And I was like, I'm just gonna show up and see what is this thing all about? And then once I got into kind of what your open house was the last time, I just knew this was a place that I had to be. And I'm so glad that I followed my gut on that because it was the place I needed to be. Everything you said, with us as mothers, like, I wish I could be better with my words right now, Noelle, like to convey the message of how powerful I believe being a part of this who he is. And if like we do all this work, I was very much building in the man energy or whatever. But yeah, at the same time, we love our families, we love our children, and in Mama Biz life, it really helped me to further define what success is to me and helped me align with how I could achieve that success, like with my business as a mother in life. Because if you get like, I feel like it's such a common, like everybody says it, right? Like, oh, the money doesn't really matter. Like you get the money and, if you're really unhappy inside, blah, blah, blah. But it's so true, especially as moms, like you could build this successful business. And if you look back and you missed out on everything with your kids because you were like grouchy or just pushing and grinding, like what is the freaking point of all of it? So being a part of Mama Biz Life really helped to create that harmony and weave all the parts together. And if there's just anything in you that's like on the fence and considering, obviously you're considering it if you're here. I just want to encourage you, like, just jump, because we are the wave. Like, everyone talks about the next generation is like the whatever of the future. Like, mothers, we are also what I believe are huge catalysts to change, to just in your own community where you can impact, but it will ripple effect. And I feel like I'm just talking so much. Anyway, I love you, Noelle. I love this group. Mahalo.
My gosh, you're so sweet, Carrie. Like, I don't know what anyone's gonna say. Like, I didn't even ask them to talk before this. So when I get to hear like just your authentic reflection, it touches me deeply, seriously. And I'm just happy that same, like I followed my intuition to open up this space, because I couldn't, I could have not, I'll just say that. But to see mothers making those decisions and having those understandings and awareness and then applying that to their life is really what it's a movement, and it's what it's about, right? We want healthy, happy mothers living their wildest dreams, basically. Thank you so much, Curie. Elena here, would you like to speak?
Sure.
Love to hear. So real fast, I just want to share. So Kalina has been here since like day one. She was in Samoa. And just so you guys know, it's a 6-month incubator. And then after the 6 months, you are open to stay with us for half price. And then after that, you kind of have lifetime for free. And so Kalina has one of our lifetime members. Like, she's been there from the beginning. She's still here. And so I would love to hear your perspective.
Yeah, aloha. Um, yeah, I mean, okay, I think I just have to start with saying, like, I mean, first of all, Kiri, I love what you shared about how, like, tending to the mothers in the, what you said something about, like, if we're not like present in this, like, we're gonna miss it, right? That's what I got out of your share. Like, if we're not, we can build our businesses, but if we're not being a mom while we're building a business, right, that we're gonna miss it. And that's like the biggest regret of all. And I got, this movement of mothers in business and like tending to the mother in business is something that's so dear to me, because I have I'm gonna say extreme trauma from MLM. Noelle and I started doTERRA together and then moved to another company, and it was just like this constant like creating and selling in a world that was like not enough. Like, we were like just trying to fill the gap. And the financial gap, the whatever posture gap. I hear you. Can I finish my thoughts? I want to see all of your swords. Please make a pile for me right here. And I want to see everything that you collect in 5 minutes. And like, for me, it's just that, like, this, I love the casualness of this group. Like, I love that, Noelle, you don't like I love that you're not here trying to like posture and teach us a whole new thing every week. That's like my favorite thing, that I'm not coming on here every Tuesday for the call to like, okay, I have to take notes. Okay, I have to integrate the next thing, because like, as a mom, like, I have no extra time to like learn anything else or like receive anything else. Like, the extra time that I have in my life, I need to be processing and integrating and reflecting everything that's already happening. And I think, to me, that's the biggest shift, because never before have I seen so, like, everybody I know is like too busy. Like, we don't know how to say no enough. Like, we're all running and juggling so many things all the time, that like, what Mama Biz Life does for me is like a space to exhale and like breathe, because I don't yet prioritize space for reflection or like integration, because it's like on to the next. Like, I got a to-do list. I have like, admin for my kids and my life and all the things to do, that like, my business, right? I run 2 businesses, and to be able to just exhale and like talk through the mess that it is of raising children, you know, loving on a family, caring for a family, taking care of a house, which on its own is a job, right? They call it housekeeper, like there's a word for it, right? Or homemaker, right? Also, like there's all of these hats and kuleana that we all hold, and it really, it can feel like the most like isolating and insane thing, especially, you know, I'm sure I'm making the assumption that many of us spend our time, you know, on Instagram, connecting, scrolling, posting, whatever, right? And that culture is one that's going to show us like everything that we're lacking and everywhere that we're lacking. And again, I'm just trying to share like what this space does for me is like it's not like Mama Biz Life for me is not anything that I've experienced before in the realm of like business coaching or, you know, like learn how to be a better entrepreneur. Like it's way more about normalizing the experience that I'm already having, and like boosting confidence and clarity, um and normalcy in the insanity that I feel every day, and like giving me it gives me a community, but not just a community, it's like a space where we're all having the same experience, right? We were just all on Kauai together, and not all of us, Carrie, we missed you, girl. But many of us were on Kauai together, and you know what I got from that was just the I'm like at the park and my kids are singing. Like forget what I was gonna say about it. Really wanted to remember it was really good, but we're moving on. Yeah, that's what I want to share is just like this is something like I'm gonna continue to show up to these calls every week. Like every Tuesday is when we have a call, and it's like the same every week. And it's really helped me. Like I said, you know, like I said, I am healing from my experience in MLM, and that being a very like striving, moving from a place of not enoughness, right? Noelle mentioned like got to make $10,000 a month. Like that's a very thing that like you see online and you like hear people say, and it's like, oh, that's what I should be doing. But really, like fulfillment in our lives comes from our relationship to it. And that's to me what Mama Biz Life does is gives a very like relevant in the moment, like what's alive for you, how can we tend to that so that you can move back into your life not feeling like you have to now integrate a bunch of notes that you just took and like all of this new information. It's like a total re-regulation. And I really love Noelle that you're really focused on just a few things here. Like there are, you know, very tactical business support videos and things for us to do, but also the breath work, you know, just the invitation of breathing deeper is something that's like already transforming my life. And I still forget it. Like she brought this up like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, so as much as possible, I'm like trying to take deeper breaths, but I forget all the time. I'm so glad I got on this call for the sole reason of like being able to be reminded of like slowing down and taking a deeper breath. Like those are the things that make life so sweet, and that we don't, I think, logically understand the connection between breath work and the success of my business. But this is like in the world of the feminine, like those are all of the super strong interconnected links that like when I have deep regulated breath, my success is automatic. And I'm just stewarding it. I'm stewarding my passions and my business and my mission instead of like striving, what's my next whatever, maiden. So that's the shift that I've felt and only continue to feel. I think I've been, in this practice of coming up on Tuesday calls for like almost 2 years. And like I feel like I'm finally starting to feel the shift of like, okay, it's happening. Like I'm now, like Noelle's no longer like coaching me on all the moments. Like she's in my head now, like, okay, just do less. Like I get to break, like I get to be with my kids, like we live in such a striving external culture that I just feel like Mama Biz Life is the antidote to that strife and struggle. I'm
Wow.
Mama Wanwa. Sorry, it's all over the place, but there it is.
No, thank you. I mean, again, I learn a lot as well. And when I hear that reflection, I learn too about just how to continue to like steward this group, to be honest, and so I just want to share one thing too, like there's a million things you can like invest in for your business, you know, not there's also a million things you could invest in for your motherhood. It's less known, it's less understandable, I think, to how do you invest in your motherhood. But investing in business, there's like a million people trying to sell you something, and guess what, they're all probably really good. How do you know what your next best step is? It's really hard because everyone is a good salesperson. Everyone has great marketing. People pour, you guys, if you don't know this, the programs that you see out there on your Instagram that are telling you they're going to promise X, Y, and Z, they probably put like hundreds of thousands of dollars into their marketing. Like, I'm not even joking. That is for real. And I just want to say something that Cleno had reminded me is that I'm thankful to gift this to all these women in Mama Biz Life, is helping them slow down so that you know what your next best step is. And Curie is such a good example of that. So she decided, and this, I love this, you guys, like, guess what? Business wise, people might look at this and be like, that's bad. Like you want longevity of a customer. But I look at it as like me doing my job. Like Curie was in our group for 6 months. I invited a guest speaker, Ati, who I think is like amazing and fire. I wanted them to experience her. Curie did experience her. She loved her. She went to her live person event, and then she ended up wanting to join her group to learn more about what her expertise is, which is branding. And I am so stoked for her, right? So she's going to exit Mama Biz Life after her 6-month incubator. She'll always be a part of our group forever. You like never get to leave, really. But she won't be a current member, right? And so I love that for her, but I do feel like Curie's gone through so many shifts in her business, and I'm not going to like tell it all because there are boundaries and closed doors on what we talk about, but she's been in so many shifts in her business, and to see her come out of Mama Biz Life just the most confident I've ever seen her, the most ready for what's next in her life, and knowing so much that like this is her next path. Like I feel like I've done a good job. Like that's how I know I've done a good job. And regardless of what all these women say, because of course, we love each other. We're going to say good things about each other. Unless I screwed them over, then they're not going to say something good, right? But I try my best not to do that. But it's more the feeling and me witnessing like their growth and their expansion and their literally peace. If there's anything that I've noticed in a lot of the women in our group, is just that their peace has expanded, which gives them more capacity to be in their power. And so I just want to kind of end on that note. And again, any questions you guys can totally ask at this point in the chat or online. And if not, I'm just going to be sending you guys an email with basically a link to all of the deets about Mama Biz Life Cohort in Lima, when we'll be starting, the price, all of that will be in the email, so you can check it out. And again, if there's more questions that come up after this, or as you are reading the details about it, you can totally just email me, DM me on Instagram. And yeah, put your one last thing, put your Instagram in the chat if you haven't done so already. And you can save the chat. It's really easy. I think you just click on the, why does Instagram change everything? But yeah, you can just save the chat and then you can have everyone's Instagrams after, so you can stay in touch. You're welcome, Moana. And thank you guys all for being here all the way through the end. And I know everyone is busy, so I really value your time, just to even like learn and hear about all of this. And so thank you, ladies. Have a beautiful day. And yeah, I'll see you in your emails or on Instagram until the next in person. We hope. I I can. Yeah, I can stay on. I'm gonna stop recording.